Yeah, sure. And so now that, like there are so many other open source programs, which are apart from GSoC as well. So would you just tell more about that as well?
Yeah, sure. So basically, yeah, open source is not about GSoC. Just many people think, many people have this myth like open source is about GSoC. It's not about GSoC. It's more than GSoC. So basically, apart from GSoC, there are a lot of programs available for Google, like for open source. If you want to be a good contributor to open source, there's nothing like there's no need to be a part of any of such programs. You can contribute to any program, any software with ease. There is no need to be a part of any such program. These programs are just to promote open source. So basically, it's not even about coding; it's about documentation as well. So basically, apart from Google Summer of Code, there are a lot of programs like for women and for like those who are trans community. So for them, there is a program called Outreachy, and you will even get a cool stipend over there. You just get a real life exposure. The same with as Google Summer of Code, but that is for especially focuses on women and other community people. Okay. There is another program called Linux Kernel Mentorship Program, which is organized by the Linux Kernel Foundation. So basically, in that program, you just get a chance to be a part of contribute to the Linux kernel, which you know what Linux kernel is. The mobiles which we use today, like Android. That Android is based on Linux kernel itself, and Linux kernel is one of the favorite you can say favorite kernel of programmers. So you get a chance to meet Linus Torvalds, the founder of Linux kernel. Apart from this, there is another program by Google, which is Google Season of Docs. Here you have a lot of you have to contribute to the documentation of projects. For every project, documentation is also a very important part. Without documentation, it's not easy for new contributors to contribute to the project. So in order to promote documentation as well, Google started Google Season of Docs, and there is GirlScript Summer of Code as well, which also promotes open source, and there are a lot more. If I list them, there are a lot more in number. You just Google it. These are the major ones.
Okay, so there are so many open source programs available as well.
Moving further with the session. Okay. Thank you guys for your response. So moving further, I would just like to show you something how to get started with GSoC before anything else. Okay, the main question, the question all of you must have, how to get started for GSoC. So basically, to get started for GSoC, all you have to do is, just a moment, let me share my screen. Okay, I feel my screen is visible to you all. Okay, so basically, in order to start with GSoC, you will first have to go to Google Summer of Code website, summerofcode.withgoogle.com. Here you'll have some organizations tab right over there. You just click on that. Okay, so basically, before getting started with GSoC, you need to have a good hands-on with some language, or you can say any technology stack, like MERN technology stack, meme technology stack, or anything. Not exactly, you should not be a master in that, but at least you should have a good knowledge of that. And in order to be a Google Summer of Code student, it is necessary to be a programmer, a good coder. That's what a necessity is. Okay, so basically, let's say I have interest in Python. I love to do Python. Okay, I'm interested in Python, and I love to code in Python. So basically, if I just want to search, so then what will I do is, if I have interest in Python, I'll just search for Python over there in the search bar, and all the Python related organizations would be listed here. See, there are a lot of Python related organizations. Okay, so you'll have to select one which suits you the most, and this part of selecting the organization in my GSoC journey was one of the most important part and most hectic part, because I had to select from 200 of organizations, and I was totally confused which one to go on with. So in order to do that, you will have to do a lot of research work. Okay, so my organization was Django. So let's say I'll search for Django as well. So you can even search for shell script if you have interest in shell. If you have interest in Linux, so you may search Linux here. So first of all, you'll have to select one tech stack or a language. It can be anything like JavaScript, Python. Most of people prefer, most of the people just get, most of the projects in GSoC are based on JavaScript and Python. So basically what you have to do is just go to organization section, search for your most appropriate organization. Let's say I was interested in Django. I had keen interest in Django. I just looked for it, I just go there, learn more in C projects. This will list all their projects and idea list, what they want from the students who are applying for it. Okay, so basically what you have to do is just open the organization whichever suits you, read out their documentation. See, in order to have a good proposal, documentation is one of the most important parts. In order to understand any project, to understand any project, you need to have a good understanding of its documentation, because that documentation defines the project. That documentation is like a bible for that project. So you need to have a good understanding of that before. So what you have to do is, the very first step, choose one organization whichever suits you. Though you may apply for 3 organizations in Google Summer of Code, but it is recommended to apply for only one, or you may even apply for 2 maximum. Though you can apply with 3 organizations, you can submit a proposal with 3 organizations, but it is recommended to apply for one only, the best one. Okay, so let's say my organization of interest is Django. What I'll do is I'll just click on View Idea List button in the right corner, and here what you will find is all the projects, what it expects from its students, what are the projects, and what exactly they want by the Google Summer of Code, what would be their mentors. You'll have to start, you have to read this whole documentation. And in fact, like, few organizations allow to create your own project. Many of the organizations allow, in fact, to create your own project. Like, you don't like their ideas, you may give your own project idea as well. So first of all, choose any organization, check out their idea list and their projects. You can even check out their last year projects. This is this year project of Django. Okay, so select any of the project whichever suits you the best, and just don't do anything, just look into where they chat. So for that, where they meet, where their developers meet. So in order to do that, just visit there are 2 buttons right there, chat and mailing list. So click any of them. Okay, let's say if I click on chat, what you will see is basically there you will have references to all the communication means the organization uses. So I just want to contact with the developers of organization. So what I'll do is I'll just click on the chat section, and we'll look there would have been references. You'll have to read the documentation. There would have been references to how to communicate. Even you have writing your first patch to Django, writing code, all these would be there. Okay, so basically so now if I have selected an organization, I have selected a project which suits me the best. Now what to do? So in order to the next step would be to just go to their mailing list or chat. There is a mailing list, like you can join their mailing list as well. Mailing lists are basically like the developers share their updates and ask questions from the fellow developers. So it's a good place to learn about the project you are working on. So just don't do anything, just open the mailing list. Right over there, I just want to get started with this project and I need some references to get started. That's it. Don't write please help me out with this. I just want how to write code. Just ask for them for references. I'll even share some tips about how to write the good initial messages to the community and mailing list in the later of the section. But basically, this is how you may explore the mailing list and chat section of the organization. Okay, so first of all, you'll have to select an organization, then a project, and then after selecting a project, visit their chat section or the mailing list and just mail them that I just can't figure out how to start with the project. I just want to start it. Just simple. Need some references to the code or something. They'll just give you the whole entire documentation references. Like from where I started was this one. I just found it out myself. Just it was here. Yeah. This tutorial. I just followed this tutorial. The documentation of the project has everything. Documentation is the key in such case. If you are starting, if you're beginning with the project. I just started from here, this tutorial, and as soon as I was getting next level, I was just moving to the next level of the tutorial. I was just getting better in Django, and after that, I just asked for references, which they referred me this link, and I read this out. It was easy to contribute. Though remember, okay, so this was the thing. These are the 4 steps basically. Select an organization, a project, mail them or message them, and read the project documentation. Okay, this was how to get started with Google Summer of Code. Yeah, Harshada, we move to the next question now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was a very good hierarchy, which was given by Sir as well, how to get started with GSoC and everything. Because if there were some people who didn't know, I mean, how to get started with everything. So it was such a great hierarchy given by Sir as well. I mean, how to do, like, which organization, to join and everything. I mean, it was a good, like, overview which was given by Sir. And Sir, like, now moving forward a little bit, now that you have shown everything and like how to get started and everything. So, but sir, but still there are some people who have that ambiguity in their mind. Like, when do I actually get started with GSoC? So, is there like any particular year which we need to get started with GSoC, or like we can do it like whenever we want? Like any prerequisites for that as well?
Okay, the best time to start for GSoC is now. You may start with
Okay.
GSoC anytime you want to. Like, yeah, matlab, don't start with GSoC. Don't have your mind like I want to get into GSoC. Just start with I just want to contribute to a open source project. I just want to get the, like you can say, get the experience of a real time project. I just started my I just wanted to contribute to a Steam project. I just don't want to. I just never. I was even not aware of Google Summer when I started open source. I just started it just to like explore the real world projects. So let's say I was interested in Django. I just have created a lot of projects. So I was like, I just use Django. Now I just want to create Django. So that is what my mindset was. So
Uh,
yeah, this
yeah, I mean the
and
best
the best
part.
time. And if I'll talk about how to prepare for GSoC, so just start anytime you want. Open source is totally open. You can just start contributing to anytime, whatever, whenever you want to. But yes, just contribute for not for Google Summer of Code. Contribute just you want to contribute to the real time project.
Okay, I mean that's amazing because like it's better to do it right away than delaying it and soaking it for so long. Yeah, I mean it's like really important to start it right away as you said. And also, sir, now that like you're I mean a big freak of Django frameworks and like Python and everything. I mean you had that keen interest of like coding and everything. So because there are so many people who actually like people who don't want to code so much. So is it eligible for them, to come into this GSoC and everything, or is it mandatory to have a heavy coding background?
Okay, there is no need to have a heavy coding background, but yes, you need to be a good in coding because Google Summer of Code is about code itself. Google Summer of Code because that's code. So you need to be good at coding, and if you're not, and if you feel like you're good at writing as well, so you can try with Google Season of Docs. That's also a good initiative by Google. If you don't feel like you're not good at coding, still you want to contribute to open source, you may go with Google Season of Docs or contribute to any documentation of the project, any project. But yeah, for that as well, you need a bit of coding.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you need to love coding. That is something which you need to be passionate about, and then if you deep delve into that, yeah, I mean,
Yes.
the passion, the zeal, and the fire to achieve that, I mean, will take you to heights. That's really amazing. And so now that like how good we may be at coding or like whatever it may be, bugs and errors, these are some of the things which irritate us at points, after reaching the culmination of doing something. So so like could you also tell like what were the initial stages of hurdles, challenges, and adversities which you faced, I mean, to clearing GSoC?
Okay, so the biggest hurdle in my view was to select an organization. I
Oh
was
my.
good in Python, I was good in Java, I was good in C++, and I was totally confused which one organization to choose. I started with LibreOffice actually. There's an organization called LibreOffice. I could show you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and why I selected it because of its technologies. I was good in C++, I was good in Python, I was good in Java, so I just took out something which uses all three of them, and I just landed to LibreOffice. I just tried its projects for a month, 1 month and a half. Just read its documentation. I just go through his projects, but I was like, I'm just interested. I just don't feel like I'm interested in this, so I had to leave this. So the biggest hurdle
Oh.
was selecting an organization. After selecting a lot
Okay.
of organizations, I moved to Django. So it would be a
Okay.
hurdle if you don't have if you are a techie, like you just like Linux, you just like a lot of tech stuff. It would be hard for you to select one project.
Correct, correct. Yeah, I
Actually,
mean, so it's really important to actually select a right organization. I mean, which you finally ended up landing in Django. That's
yeah.
amazing. So, like, could you also? Okay, yeah. I mean, see again, like there are so many people again putting the questions in the comment section. I think there were so many people who joined later as well. So, guys, there was a link, in the description. floated in the chat. So I'll be putting it once again when sir is answering a question. So yeah, I mean, you can put your queries, into that link which I've sent. So I already got like so many questions, and yeah, I mean, we will be answering all of those as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually all your questions would be addressed in the session, mid of session. There are a few questions which you will ask now, but they would be answered themselves in the mid of the session. That is why we are asking you to have a question answer session in the end.
Correct.
So
Exactly.
I'll discuss about proposal as well in the meantime. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, definitely. Because there are some people, at different levels. Because there are some beginners, some advanced people. So like there are different levels of people here. So I mean, yeah, sir would be taking all of those. Don't worry. Yeah, sir. Actually, sir, even in the beginning, now you have reached a very good level, and you're now expert in so many things. Sir, but still, there might be like some of the mistakes which you would not want. Like you think that you would not have done. So, like, are there any mistakes which shouldn't be committed in the beginning while getting into GSoC? Like, because we learn from others' mistakes, and it would be like really easy for us as well. So, like, are there any explicit mistakes which you made?
Okay. The first and the foremost mistake I would ask people not to commit is, don't think if a project is big, don't think that you cannot contribute to it. I was looking for some beginner level projects, like some easy level projects that I can contribute to, because I was like, how can I contribute to an esteemed project like Django or a Linux kernel or anything like that. But listen, if you will go with a hard project, you will definitely explore a lot of things. Yeah, it will take time. It took me around 1.5 months to get my first pull request merged, with a lot of discussion with mentors and all that stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was merged in the Django Software Foundation, and that was the achievement. So basically, the first thing is, don't look for the small projects. Just try hit and answer with some big project. Secondly, while looking for issues, don't jump onto the other issue. Like I just read the first issue. I didn't find anything appropriate. I didn't find any interesting. I'll move to the second issue. I'll move to the third issue. And if I'll just follow this methodology, I would learn to none of the issue will suit me. So in order to just while selecting an issue, just read the issue and like have a discussion. If you have any questions, post it over there. It's just stuck to the one issue. Like if you would be like, my mind was moving, like if I selected first issue, okay, I just gave it a 1 week and then I moved to the next one, because I found like I won't be able to solve this. You shouldn't have this mindset, and start with good first issues. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, take a very strong coding problem, or a hard one in the beginning, and just keep going on with it. And as sir told, it requires a lot of patience, tolerance, and yeah, I mean, a lot of immense patience, to put yourself totally into that, because coding has got its own errors and bugs and everything. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, yeah, you will fail, but then still, like, don't give up and just keep doing it. So I mean, you'll definitely do it. And sir, because for a human being, I mean, it's not possible to always keep going when you're falling down like so many times. So sir, would you just tell like who is the person who has been like inspiring you, and what is that driving force behind you, always motivating?
Actually, that driving force behind me was my mentor. His name was Pranshu Srivastav. He was from JIIT. Actually, he was the one who motivated me for everything. Like every time I used to start contributing, I was like, I cannot do this. He used to say that you can. This is the easiest thing. Like this, I was a development freak. I was never into computer programming. So just he used to motivate me. There are a few sentences which he said to me I like to convey.
Exactly.
The very first thing was like, when you will get a stipend of $1,500, your parents would be the happiest person. See that. Second thing, actually in my case, that was only in my case. I don't know whether it's in your. I am from a tier 3 college, and my college there's no Google Summer of Code student from my college. So the biggest motivation was I just wanted to be the first one from my college.
Yeah, yes, sir, and you're the first one to clear the Google Summer of Code from your
that was the biggest
college, and that's highly commendable. Yeah, because it was a great inspiration, for others also. I mean, to come into this field, and that's really amazing.
And yes, just have a mentor behind you. Like whenever you will stuck, just ask him questions. Just have a mentor. Like it's just so that whenever you would be stuck, now you can ask him the question. It's like that. Whenever I was stuck, I just asked him like said, this is the issue, please
Exactly.
help me out, sir. So and he used to do that. Like, so every time I was stuck, he just more pushed me hard, like, yes, I can do it. So I just one step, like I was used to move one step forward. So have a mentor behind you who just pushes you all the time. Okay, yes, you can. And if you are stuck, then he can help you out. So that was my
Correct, correct.
biggest motivation. Yes.
Yeah, that's sir. This is something, not the thing which you told is something which is being experienced by everyone because, like, the human nature is like, after trying so much, and if you're not getting
Yes.
something, we tend to leave it aside, and that's how we actually lose, good opportunities and also some very big things which are to be done in the life. So it's really important to have a very good mentor who can guide you always, like whenever you have doubts and everything. And I think that was the biggest thing which has actually helped you in reaching to this position and achieving so many things as well, and that's amazing. And sir, would you also like to tell the path, your pathway to GSoC, and as there are also like so many common myth busters as you told, so could you also tell a little bit about that as well,
Okay.
sir?
Okay. So pathway to Google Summer of Code. That's one of the good questions. Okay, so let's start.
Yes.
I just told you about the basic things, like how you have to select the organization, just select a project, and ask the mentors over there. Okay, like I just am facing this problem. I just need the solution to this. Okay, they'll answer accordingly. But now comes the most important part: how to just be a part of Google Summer of Code. Actually, let me help you out with help you out this, like answer this question with my journey. Okay,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
let me show you how my journey was started. So actually my journey was started from Open Library. Let me show you first. My first contribution to like how it goes. Like people are okay. Let me show you how what was my first contribution, and you would definitely laugh after seeing that. This was my first contribution, which was not accepted. I
Okay.
contributed twice to Open Library, and this was my contribution. See,
Okay.
this was my first contribution, which is not accepted though. And yes, the second one, if you will see that, so this was my second contribution, just this and this. So don't worry, start with very basic thing.
Correct,
I
correct.
just put on a BR tag and a div tag, that's it. I just did nothing to their code. So just start with I will just like to recommend start with the basic thing. Your pull request won't be merged, that's okay. I just learned a lot from by creating this pull request. I learned a lot. So
Okay.
after these two failed pull requests, I moved to Django. Okay, let me just show you some of my pull requests in Django. Yeah. So after all that, I just gave 1.5 months. I was just aware that I just need to read documentation. The biggest mistake I was like I was not reading the documentation. I was just contributing to the code directly. Okay, so that's what the mistake I committed in Open Library in these two pull requests. Okay, then I just moved to Django and just read its documentation for 15 days. It took me around 15 to 20 days to read the whole documentation. I was not coding anything. I was just blindly reading the documentation for 15 to 20 days. And then after reading the documentation, I opened this issue. Okay, I just checked this issue out. I was like, up to issues. I have to solve this issue only. Bas. And that's final. I won't change my mind now. And I just started this. My issue was open September 13, and perhaps when it was merged in September 15. Okay. So okay, yeah. Basically these were the changes I committed in Django after
Okay.
reading the documentation. So this is what the difference is. This was without reading documentation, and the other okay, this was without documentation, and this was with documentation.
Wow.
Now you can
Okay.
imagine.
There's a lot of
So
improvement.
that's what the difference. Yeah. So just don't worry. For the first time, you will definitely fail, and everyone fails.
Right.
And actually, I even tried for the last year for Google Summer of Code, and I was not accepted then also. So initially, you will face a lot of failures. But
Yes,
yeah, you need someone to
definitely.
push you. Like, yes, you can do it. I made this contribution, and my mentor was like, "You did a great job." I was like, "Yeah, what I did? Yeah, it's nothing." My mentor said it was a great job. It's a good start. So just start with anything small. Don't wait. No need to start with anything big directly. Though if you are a pro, if you feel like you can start with big, don't start with low small. But yeah, if you feel like you need to start with small contributions, you'll fail. But yeah, at the end, after it will take some time, but when the result would be awesome. So yes.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, after seeing all of that, it actually inspires all of us that, before reading the documentation, I mean, the contributions were, I mean, not so effective. But then if you put a lot of effort, in reading something and actually researching, analyzing everything, yeah, I mean, then, it becomes like perfect. And that's really amazing, like the way how Sir has got into such a great position. I mean, even in the beginning, like, he was also in the initial stages, but then still he tried pulling his horses. And now he's finally in a very good position actually. So yeah, I mean, in the initial stages we'll be failing a lot, but still, yeah, it's
And
our responsibility, the fire in us should take to such positions. And
yeah.
so now that we have gone through your pathway and everything, I mean, related to your journey, so would love to take some more questions now from Slido as well. So guys,
Just
I
a
have
moment,
also
just a moment. I have to discuss a bit about proposal as well. Then we
oh,
move to slide questions.
definitely, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. So now I was on. Yeah. You selected an organization project, contacted the mentors, read the documentation. Now what? So after reading the documentation, you just move to the issues of every project has some issues. Okay. So just search for that project. Let's say I want to search for Django issues in Django. Okay. So what I'll do is Django GitHub. Okay, I'll just search it on Google. You'll get their GitHub repository. Okay, I just got this here. Just move on to this, how they track their issues. There is always a contributing.rst or contributing.md file in each project, which tells you how can you contribute to that project. There are two files which are most important to read to start. If you are not getting any reference of documentation, you don't know where to start, just start with readme.md and contributing.rst or contributing.md. Each project has these two files. Okay, so I just visit to contributing, open the contributing file, and there you will get links how they manage their issues. Like for Django, we use a separate issue tracker. If I'll move to this issues, there are issues. Okay, so if I'll click on view tickets, there are a lot of tickets. Okay, so these are the problems, these are the bugs, the new features which Django wants to introduce, and these are the bugs which Django has. So you may open, okay, there is always, okay, I'll know, I won't explain to Django because it would be a bit Django specific. To make it more general, I like to open, let's say open library. Okay, so this is another organization, a very famous open source organization. So in GitHub, many organizations, unlike Django, they use GitHub's issue tracker. So there is a issues section over there where you will find all their issues. Okay, so let's say I'm newbie, I just want to contribute to this project, and I just want to get started. What I'll do is I'll just go to label section and just type first here. You will see good first issues. Just click on that and all the easy beginner level issues would be listed here. And there are so many beginner level issues. You may contribute to any of them. All you have to do is read the documentation. There is no need to read the whole documentation. Let's say I'm working on widget component. So read the documentation for widget component itself. We'll explore a lot. So, and there is always in big projects, there is a documentation for documentation. So read that, it would be great. It will help you how to explore the documentation. Okay, so suppose I selected this issue, open the issue and just read about it. What's the issue, what exactly the problem. It will take some time. You won't get the issue at all. Just type like someone has commented, can I, and yes, after this, if okay, just comment that I didn't understand what exactly means. Whatever problem you're facing, just write it over there in this comment. Okay, and if you feel like yes, I can solve this issue, just write this person has written, can I take this issue. So just write this kind of a message, and the people will over that organization will assign you that issue, and you will have to solve that. Each organization has a limited time, like Django has around 1 month perhaps to solve an issue. Okay, 30 days to solve an issue. So if you would be able to solve that issue within that particular time, it would be great. Until then, you are the only person who would be assigned that issue. No one else would want to work on that issue. This is the strategy which most of the organization follows. So work on an issue, contribute to that issue, and that's it. That's how you can start contributing to any open source organization. Okay, now moving further, and now you know a project, you contributed to the project. Now what's next? Next comes the most important part, your proposal. Okay, so you just came to know the project has some problem. This is the feature you want to add to that project. Okay, so if in case you just want to add, like say I will show you my proposal. Just a moment. This was my proposal for Google Summer of Code. So basically, what you have to do is, after I just figured out that I can optimize the schema, the models. Let's say the models in Django. There's something called models. No need to learn about it. So okay, so I just got to know about this. So basically, now you have to start working on a proposal. Research as much as you can about the component you are developing the proposal for. I was developing my proposal for models. Okay, so basically I research as much as I can, and then I just move to the proposal part. You have to design a proposal, and in order to tell you what are the good techniques of how to write a proposal, I'll have to take another session. So I'll just conclude it here. Yeah.
Okay, so no problem. Yeah, I mean, that was a brief overview of what exactly it is, like going through the documentations and analyzing everything and then contributing. I mean, that was a very brief overview. And as Sir told, if we want to go deep into everything, yeah, I mean, it will take another session, but it's okay. We'll plan one more, no problem. So as I told Sir, now can I like take the questions from the audience? Yeah.
Yes.
So guys, like I have again put the link, in the comment section. So like you can feel free to ask again. So I'll be just sharing my screen. Like, could you just confirm if it's visible?
Sure. Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, sir. So like just starting with the first question. Sir, so there's an anonymous user asking like, sir, please provide a roadmap, like what to study step by step and what to do. I mean, exactly. Okay, this will take another session.
No worries. I just brief it out. Okay, so start with any language. The very first part is start with any one language or a tech stack like mod, meme, anything. So start with any language, and then go step by step. Like if you just good at that language, you're not master that language, just intermediate in that language. Move further, select an organization, select a project, contribute to that project, and just have your name there. That's it. And just you will find everything would be like the next step would be automatically open. The next doors for the
Okay, exactly. Fine. That's amazing. And again, there's another question as well, like how important, is it to apply in a not so well known organization? Like
okay. That's a good question. So basically, yes, that's totally true. What my mentor told me, I'm not an industry person, but my mentor is, so he just told me like, if you are going to you are just a part of Google Summer of Code with a good organization, a well-known organization, then it will definitely add a boost to your resume. And if you are not a part of Google Summer of Code with not so well-known organization, yes, then it like there are a lot of disadvantages for that. The first of all, actually it should not be the not so well-known organization. It should be like not a good work culture organization, basically. Okay. Or you can say, the projects are not up to the mark. They are basic projects, beginner level projects. So what happened, like you won't get the exposure to networking, basic networking with people. They'll have like the good well-known organizations have a well-experienced people, and like their one statement could teach you a lot of things.
Exactly.
A lot of professional coding practices you can learn from them, and you will even lag like. There is a term which my mentor told me, like you are coding for the software which your friends use, like VLC. Yeah, so that's what you will miss if you will go with a not so well-known organization. Apart from that, Google Summer of Code will add a boost to your resume itself, but organization also matters in the industry level.
Fine. Yeah. So there might be some good reputed organizations as well, but which we don't know them. So we need to do a little bit of research and then get into a good, well-known organization, which would again add to your resume as well. And sir, the next question is like, when did you start contributing in open source projects?
Start from now. I answered this question already. Start from any time, whichever.
When did you start, sir?
I started in 2019, when in the month of, I don't remember exactly which month it was, April or May. I was just like, I just want to contribute to the open source projects. And that's what my motive was. Your motive depends. It's not the time, it's the motive. If your motive is to contribute to the esteemed open source project, then it's really cool. And just start from today itself.
Okay.
Open your laptop and just go scroll GitHub, just find some good projects.
Okay. That's fine, yeah. And like I think this is a good question. Like someone, like if someone is
Technology.
having knowledge of like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, I think everything related to front end, like will they be able to participate successfully in this?
Definitely yes.
Okay.
It's a great like, and most of the organizations are web development based only in Google Summer of Code. Yeah, but one more tip: select the organization which has hard level projects, because easy level projects have a lot of, like, you can say, competition. There are a lot of students applying for the same, but for the high level projects, a less number of students are applying. So it's a better chance. That's why I just choose Django, because I was like, yeah, there are a lot of people who like they are afraid that this is the great project and it would be hard to contribute. So, and most of the project in Google Summer of Code are web development based. So it's really great if you have this much knowledge of these, so you may continue with them.
Okay, so that's fine. I mean, you already have enough knowledge. Okay, so there is someone who's asking again. I'm a tech enthusiast and and love to explore various tech fields. So I have a good idea of C, Python, and especially Java. So how can I contribute to the open source?
Okay, so in order to do that, go to Google, search for GitHub repositories for C, Python, and Java. And okay, and just like you will find a lot of list. You will just get a list of organizations which just use Java, Python, and C as their major language. Just contribute to them. Python itself is developed in C language, so you may even directly contribute to the Python's repository. Python is also open source, so that's also a good option. And if you want to start, you're a beginner, so just search for beginner-friendly organization, beginner-friendly projects in C, Java, Python. That's a good way to start if you want to.
Yeah. Okay, so actually there are like very, very basic questions being asked because there are some people who are from first year as well. So like there are some very basic questions like what is Django? I mean, what is the Django framework? So we can't go into that level. So okay, so I'll be taking good relevant questions, guys. Okay, so I mean don't feel bad that I'm not taking the question, but okay, so it should be a question which should be beneficial for everyone.
Yes,
So
and I'll even share my email. You may ask those questions on my mail.
Yeah, because we are already like we have
Yeah.
passed 1 hour. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
Django is something which even you can go and search on Google as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, sir, and like there's one guy, he's asking like, sir, how do we make proposals, and is it like we make a prior contribution and document about it as part of our proposal?
Okay, I like to answer both this question and the tips for selection of proposal questions together.
Yeah,
okay, so basically proposal is one of the most important parts, but it's not the only part of contribution. So first of all, yeah, your proposal matters. So basically, if I'll just give you some tips for proposal, the very first would be have a concrete idea in mind with a concrete timeline. Your timeline matters very much in this case. In my organization, it does a lot. Like mentors used to look throughout the timeline. They don't used to look at the proposal. First of all, they'll go to a timeline. In my organization, I'm talking about, they'll go to the timeline and just figure out like, is the timeline itself shows how concrete you are, how much you know about the project. Second is, in order to have a good proposal, you need to have some good contributions. See, the Google Summer of Code part starts before the application starts. Basically, when you start contributing to the organization, the mentor should know you as much as you can. Like if you contributed a little bit, a small changes, just show it to the mentor that yes, you are the one who committed these changes. So more than proposal, it's your contribution that plays a vital role. Secondly, in order to have a good proposal, the timeline matters the most in my organization, in my opinion. Like you should have a concrete idea, like I'll do this, then this, and then this. So this is what proposal.
Okay. Sure. Actually, like, there are so many questions again, I think being repeated, like asking about how to choose.
Okay, do one thing. Just start from the top one.
Okay, yeah.
And as soon as it will be repeated, it will relate it itself.
Okay, sir, no problem. So
the first one is completed.
Again asking, okay, so I think this is done. Okay. So
the first one is done.
Yeah, so is it true that Java is more preferred and useful than C++ for contributing in open source?
No, it's not. Actually, see, there's a that's what they're saying in this in the community, that Python and JavaScript projects are more popular in Google Summer of Code. But yes, if you are good at C++ and you will, like, if you are a fish and you just want to climb a tree, it's not possible. Similarly, the case if you are if you're proficient with Java, you don't need to go with C++. And if you are proficient with C++, you don't need to go with Java. It's all about what you are interested in, how much you know about the language. That plays a vital role in spite of preference. Like, yes, that's it.
So it's again totally dependent on the interest and passion which you are having in. So again, sir, please tell us about what are the basic skills required so that we can perform very well in the competition.
Okay,
Basic
some
requirements.
basic skills. So the very first is basic programming. You should know
Okay.
how iterations work, how conditions work, the basic programming. This one was for first year students. Okay, moving further, you should have that the tech stack you selected. You should have a good knowledge of that, the OOPS concepts, the basic concepts of that language of tech stack, how the tech stack works internally. You should be aware of everything in order to get selected.
Yeah, so actually, like there are so many students, asking the similar question, like how did you find mentors and where do we get good mentors?
Okay.
Yeah.
So in order to get a good mentor, see the prod. See, if I'll show you, my screen is not visible. Perhaps you share it
Yes,
again.
it's okay, sir. I'll be stopping my screen share. Like
No
if you.
worries, no worries. No worries. Yeah. So basically, when you will just go to the project, view projects. Let's say I just opened the Django's projects. Yeah, this was the page when I clicked on view idealist. Okay. So here is the name of mentors written. My mentor is Marius Feliciak. There is one another mentor, Carlton Gibson, and this was my organization. It has written the mentor's name here, but many organizations write their mentor's name along with their projects. Find out your mentors on LinkedIn, IRCs. There is an IRC channel. There is a mailing list. Find out their email IDs. I just mailed my mentor for the first time when I just wanted to communicate with my mentor. So basically find their email IDs, find their LinkedIn profiles, their GitHub profiles, stalk them, just go and hit like whichever mentor, who is the mentor of whoever is the mentor of your project, find his email ID and mail him. Directly mail him that I am interested in a project. I feel like I would be a good contributor. I just want to know how to get started with the contributions. I need some references. Don't ask directly that I am unable to solve this problem. I just run the development environment. I am unable to solve this problem. You may write these mails on mailing list with support channels, but not to the mentor. Ask mentors the questions like, I need some references to get started for the project. This is one of the good examples. This is how I started, in fact, Django. So yeah, this is the way you can communicate with mentors.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you can email them, and like there are so many mentors even available on the site as well. And like, sir, all these four questions are even similar, like how can a
Your
web
screen is not
developer,
visible.
participate in GSoC? A person who is having a background of web developing.
It's great if I just answered the question. If you're a web developer, most of the projects in Google Summer of Code are based on web development. So you may easily contribute to those. Just look for the your text. Like my tech stack is React. Just search for React-based projects. I told you how to search. I already have given the demonstration on how to search. Just search for the project, whichever suits you. Just go with that and contribute.
Okay. Sir, like there's okay. Oh my God, it just flew down. Okay. Okay, there was a very, very good question which I found, and I mean, yeah, I lost it. Okay.
Harshita, your screen is not visible. Just.
Okay, it's visible, right?
No, it's not. You just share. You just need to
Okay,
share it again.
yeah, it's sharing, sir. I mean, yeah, it's being shared. Okay, I'll reshare again. Sir, is it visible now?
Just a moment. Yeah, it's visible.
Oh, okay, no problem.
There are a lot of questions.
Yeah, there are so many questions. I mean, I don't know like which one to take.
Okay, just start with the top one. Don't worry, we'll just take them one. I just try to finish them. So, have you aware of Django while applying first time? Yes, I was aware. I have created a lot of projects in Django while applying for the same. So there is nothing like that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks for answering our questions.
Okay, I'll just read them out. Don't worry, it would be a bit fast. So you just clear those questions, whichever I've just answered.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Sir. I'm deleting all of those. And yeah, thank you guys. I mean, for your participation as well. And yeah, I mean, sir has got a lot of patience. Yeah, so exactly.
Let me start. I'm an Android developer. How can I participate in Google Summer of Code? For Android developers, there is a language called Flutter. You have that. If the Flutter project is open source completely, you may contribute to that. And there are a lot of open source projects. So if you have any tech stack, let it be Java, C++, Python, Android, anything, you can contribute to Google Summer of Code. It should be about tech stack, but a technology. Okay, so thank you so much for answering your questions so patiently. It's always a pleasure, buddy.
Yeah, sir, how did you contribute in projects?
I'll just read them out. How did you contribute in projects? Which platform you used to contribute in various projects before applying to Google Summer of Code? Yeah. Okay, so actually I just use, for contribution, you need to use GitHub itself. So Go to GitHub and search for beginner level projects. Learn GitHub, like before, after learning a language, just learn GitHub as well. You need to have a good GitHub knowledge, version control systems knowledge, basically.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on, requirements for clearing Google Summer of Code. So the first prerequisite is you need to have a good hands-on with any language. Second thing, the most important prerequisite was to have a good hands-on with any language. The second one was to have a good project, and you had like which you can select. You can select through any of the, like you can find it on GitHub, and that's it. There is no more prerequisite. You should be a good at coding. That's a basic level coding, not even too much advanced.
Okay. Okay, so please tell us how to fill the application form and how to raise proposals there. Okay.
Okay. So for that, first of all, you just need to get into that, the basic things. This you will find on summerofcode.google.com, official Google Summer of Code website. There's everything mentioned there. No need to worry. For beginners, what are the prerequisites done? What is importance of doing Google Summer of Code? Yeah, this is a good question. So importance of Google Summer of Code. The very first importance is like if your resume has Google Summer of Code with some good organization, it will definitely add a weight to your resume, a lot of weight. Like I cannot say, I shouldn't give an example, but yeah, it will definitely add a lot of weight to your resume. And second thing, you will get a cool stipend. The third thing, you will get a real life based experience, like the project which is used by your friends, you will get experience on working on that project, the professional level projects. You will get a good chance of networking with people who are good at development, who are like professionals in that. You will get a chance to communicate with them.
Okay.
All about how to start starting.
It will take days.
Time to start preparing for Google Summer of Code. I answered them all. How exactly should I start to contribute to open source? Just in order to start contributing to open source, just search for any project that suits you. Like I'm interested in Python, just search for Python level, beginner level projects. Just contribute to any of the project whichever suits you. Beginner level projects, or even in fact, I've shown you the how to search for project on Google Summer of Code website. Visit there, just open Google Summer of Code website, search for your preferred language. You will find a lot of projects there. Just contribute. In order to contribute, just read the documentation. Their documentation is the answer to all your questions. Okay. What do you exactly mean by a nice issue? How do you decide if one issue is nice or suitable to work on? An issue is nice if you understand the issue, if you understand the problem. Though it will take time, but if you just you read the issue, you won't understand it at once perhaps. But yeah, read it twice, thrice, even the 100th time. And if you understood the problem, not the solution, I'm talking about the problem, then this is a nice issue to work on, because it's even hard to understand what exactly the problem is rather than to figure out solution. So just if you can understand the problem, what is the problem, it's a nice issue for you. Okay. So is it necessary to have great DSA knowledge? Then only we will be able. This is a good question. We will perform all the learning of particular program. This is not at all a necessity to have a great DSA knowledge for this. You need to have some basic programming knowledge, and that's it. You are done for Google Summer Code. You learn it by contributing. Learn by doing. That's the base. That's a. I don't have word for this. That's basically a motto kind of a thing which you can follow. Sir, I am more into computer coding via Java. Do I need to learn development before contributing to open source, or I can direct move on to the open source contributions? Okay, so competitive coding via Java, then I don't feel there is any competitive programming related projects in Google Summer of Code. I'm not sure about this. But yes, if you are looking for projects, most of them are development based. So you'll have to be good at development. You'll have to get your hands dirty with development once. That only competitive programming perhaps may not help. Documentary or tutorial, which is best? Documentary, always documentation, not a tutorial.
We have
knowledge about
this is done DSA. Yeah.
How will you know I have sufficient? How will I know I have sufficient knowledge of coding to contribute to a project? Okay, you need to have some basic knowledge. That's not it's not even the sufficient one. Just read out their documentation. Whatever you didn't understand, read that part. Suppose I don't know what is risk comprehension in Python, and there is something which is used in Django. So I'll just read that topic in Python. So just read the topic whichever the project needs, according to the project. Is Kotlin language good for Google Summer of Code? If you are good in Kotlin, then it's great for you to go on with Kotlin.
Okay. So we are going a little fast.
Yeah. Is fluent English communication necessary for Google Summer of Code? Bit yes. A
Okay,
bit
wait.
yes.
Okay, I mean it's good to know. Okay,
Uh,
and yeah, Manav sir is helping all of us. Yeah, I mean kudos to his efforts and also for his time as well. Coming here.
Thank you, buddy. Who says this? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Before contributing, should we know full language of coding language? Full knowledge, not the full knowledge, just a beginner level and an intermediate knowledge. That's it. How will I know that I have prepared a language although I completed a documentary? I didn't get this question.
I mean, okay, sir. I think he meant that even if I go through the documentary and if I'm not good at the language, so is it okay to contribute?
Then there's possibility to read the documentary with interest or with because if you will read the documentation, you don't need anything else. That is everything related to it. Just need to read the documentation again. That's it. Because even I myself read documentation twice. Look, not whole documentation, but a few pages of documentation twice. Good YouTube channel for learning web development. Actually, I personally prefer reading articles rather than YouTube channel and videos. Videos are a bit more of time consuming. Go with articles and documentation. So in YouTube channel, I don't have any recommendations. Sorry. Sir, I have no idea Google symbol of code first, but I always wanted to do this. But now all my questions again. Thank you so much. It's all my pleasure, buddy. You may contact me on my email. I have shared my email as well.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Is it like that? There's that read documentary and practice simultaneously. Yeah, it's even a good better approach. If you can go on with this, it is even a better approach.
Okay.
That's it.
I think we're done with the questions. Oh my god, there were so many, and thank you so much, sir. There were so many questions actually.
Thank you so much, audience, for this awesome questions.
Yeah, I mean, it was such an awesome session, and we were like going very fast and fast. And guys, like, if you still feel like there were some questions left out, so just copy paste it now quickly in the ending of the comment section. And yeah, I mean, you'll get the recording for sure, definitely. And I think most of the questions.
Harshita, do one thing. Share my email also in the chat section. Actually, I'm not able to use section. I don't know why. Just share my email there as well, so that they.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure. No problem.
I got this. Okay. Wait, I'm just sharing.
You got them. Okay, yeah. So that's the email ID, and like you can, yeah, exactly. TPS man, yeah, correct. So guys, if you have like any more queries, I mean, yeah, because we are in the beginner level, yeah, we have like so many doubts, flowing in our mind, yeah.
The recording link would, the recording link would be shared on
exactly.
GSoC Instagram handle and also eSummit Telegram handle or Instagram?
Telegram group, yeah. Telegram group and like WhatsApp groups and everywhere. Yeah, I mean it's going to be shared everywhere because it's such an informative session which we had today, and it was such a lovely conversation with Manav Agarwal sir today. So Engineer Summit thanks Manav Agarwal sir, for being here and for sharing his knowledge, and once again thank you so much sir, for being here, and like congratulations once again, on clearing GSoC, and it's such a great contribution and addition to your resume as well. That's really amazing. And also thank you so much, on behalf of Engineer Summit and on behalf of my audience here and also from my side as well. Thank you so much sir.
It's all my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.